Well, hi, and thanks for joining me here in my shop for another run at this radio. Lots of challenges coming out of this radio, but I think I'm over all the major problems, and so I'm hopeful that this time I can actually finish the alignment on the radio and we'll see what we actually have. But just before we get on to the radio, I'm just going to show you this little gizmo I'm going to make use of here. It's a really simple thing, and at a glance it doesn't look simple. Okay, so this tube's doing nothing. Let me take it out. So all this is just an old chassis I use for experiments and stuff like that. And really, it's just an antenna from a AM broadcast type radio, and the capacitor connected together in parallel. Not much more than that. So, you know, there's two coils up here. There's a big coil. Most of this wire is one big coil, and then there's a small one on the inside here, just one or two turns. The one or two turns go here, and I have connected to it is the signal generator. So the signal generator is energizing one or two turns here. Most of this coil, or all this coil, is connected in parallel across this capacitor. I've got both sections of this capacitor hooked together to get maximum capacity out of this. So I can tune and resonate this coil, and because it's come from an AM radio, it's designed specifically to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to energize the couple of turns with my signal generator, and then I'm going to tune in the big coil to match the frequency, and this is going to cause a powerful radiation here in my shop, which is what I'm after, because the first step in alignment on this radio is to impress the signal into the antenna on it without making any direct connections to the radio. So that's what I'm going to try to do here with this guy. So this guy's just beefing it up. You know, I could connect this to a coil, as I've done in the past, and just run the signal off the coil. But in this case, by using some resonance, I'm going to make this coil really sing out. That's my theory anyway. So to check this out, make sure it works, you can see what frequency I'm dialed up to, 700. Just going to move it off that a little bit. Now I have a radio way up here. Okay, so that's an AM radio. It's just tuned to 700. Just an ordinary AM radio, nothing special about it. And I'm going to make sure this is untuned. Whoops, you gotta look down, you gotta look down, you gotta look down to see this all. Okay, we'll set this to 700. So there we are. So there's a two-turn coil that's sending that signal up to that radio. But now I'm going to resonate this one. We'll see if it gets stronger. So I picked a spot where there's some interference on the other radio. Let me just try another spot here a little bit. Okay, so that's 800 and something. Perfect. Okay, so this is doing just what I wanted it to. So there's a strong signal now in my shop at 800. Now what does the instructions say about what frequency we got to set all this up on? I'm going to just rearrange some cameras here. Okay, I'm going to do another demonstration here just to verify for my sake too that this is really doing what I think it's doing. So again, single frequency signal generator at 850. So if you look on the SDR around 850, you see a yellow line. Now if I'll just tune the signal generator and we'll see what's what here. So there you are. I have to tune this up to 1500, so let's go up there. 1500. Coming in from above. 16, 1500. Now I'll tune this and get that coil to resonate here. Oops. There we go. There you see the signal show up on the SDR. I'll go by it. Okay, I'll come back across it. Oop, what happened? There we go, so below it. Right about there. The SDR, by the way, is picking the signal up using this little coil of wire. That's the SDR antenna, just laying back here. Okay, we're good. We're good to go. 1500. And now I gotta turn the radio on. I guess we gotta get to that. So let's flip back to the instructions here. Radiate generator signal into stick loop or loop antenna. So the stick loop is a portable loop antenna, and we're just going to use the one that's here. It's just built into the radio. Signal generator 1500. Okay, got that set. Band selector. Ooh, here we go. Band selector. Okay, so I turned the radio over. It's up here now. It's supposed to be on 7. That's where it is. Is it? Is it really? So that would be 6, 7, blank. So it's not quite lining up right, but I know where I am anyway. So long wave, empty, band 7 without a doubt. Okay, receiver dial setting 1500. Okay, so 1500's right here. That meter went wild there. Nothing to do with what I'm doing. So I'm using the meter, which is somewhat unreliable. 1500. Sometimes the pointer can tip, but it's not. It's straight. Okay, so the radio's set. Now, what am I actually adjusting? E, the oscillator trimmer on the gang. Well, there's 3 of them up here. There's 3. There's 3. A little bit unusual, but every one of them is in there. So one of these is the one I'm after. These all look to be exactly the same size. I'm trying to figure out why. That doesn't bode well for the meter there. You know what? One of the meter clip leads has come off. So let's sort that out now. That's why my meter has been misbehaving here. That's because the speaker is loose now. It's kind of flopping around. I want this to be connected here. So the radio's not been switched on yet. There we go. Okay, so that should make the meter behave a little better. Which one of these is E? So I got to hunt around in the manual here and find out E. Which one's E? Which one's E? A, B, and C. So those are the tuning sections. But it's not talking about these tuning spots here, which are okay. So that's not helping. That's not going to help. I thought there was something that would help. Oh, here we are. No. I don't want to look at hide the strings from me. Hey, there's nothing in here. It's going to tell me which one's E. Come on, so we'll look at the schematic. We'll have to index it somehow from the Come on, Jim. Where's the schematic? Oh my gosh. Right. Tuning capacitor. Trimmer. Here's the tuning capacitor here. Here they all are. Here's the trimmers. G, F, E. Okay, so this one's E. And how are we supposed to know which one of these it is up on top of the radio, though? E, F, and G. Do I have to trace wires? That's ridiculous. There must be a way. Okay, try as I may, I cannot find any reference to tell me which one of these is E or F or G. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the radio, and we'll figure it out just by touching them which one is an oscillator. This is just about the oscillator right now, isn't it? E, oscillator, and then after it, ooh, F. Well, maybe we can gamble. If this is E, this must be F. And G, if this is E, this must be E, F, and G. No real guarantee of that. You can notice the plate on this one has been bent out. And this side's been bent out, it looks like just a wee bit. I think that's a hint this is the oscillator right here. The way we'll tell is if I interfere with the oscillator, the radio tunes. If I interfere with these, the radio gets weaker. Okay, tuning off and getting weaker, kind of the same thing, but if you pay attention, you can tell one from the other. That's how we'll figure it out. That's my plan. How many plans have I had that have just gone? Just gone. Okay, checking for safety now. I'm making sure we got some power plugged in here. Okay, power cord's good. It's good. Nothing funny hanging out. Yes, there is something funny hanging out of the radio. So I jumped ahead by accident and installed the antenna patching you need anyway to do the next step when you're actually feeding the signal into the radio. So I need to disable this by just pulling this out here. Okay, and that's just a bunch of nothing now, just hanging onto the chassis. It's nothing. But later that'll be an important part of this. Now my meter, as you can see, is upscale. What it thinks it's reading, I don't know. We'll just see what happens as we go along here. And now we're going to find out if this radio works again today at all. There we go. Good. There we go. Okay, so there's no power in the outlet. Oh, that's right, the radio's upside down. Not upside down. Other way around. Get it straight. Okay, I'll have the radio on and up just a little bit in volume. And the radio itself is tuned to 1500. I got a 1500 signal radiating strongly from my radiator there, I think. Here we go. Come on, baby. Tons of volume. Tons of volume. Wow, it's never been this loud. Is that a good sign? Okay. No 1500 signal, but what I'll do is I'll move the signal generator around. See if we can get this going yet. It would seem like a nothing. Let's come out. And put the signal strength up a lot. Now it should be theoretically blasting one heck of a signal into the shop here. Now, okay, how do I know for sure this is on the right band? I did check it. Let's see. Move the band. Turn the volume down a little bit here. Move the band. Blank. long wave. It's receiving something on long wave. Really? Is it long wave? No, I don't think it's long wave. This is the long wave here. I got this thing totally backwards because I got the radio tipped the other way. I'm all turned around here. That's going to disappear out of view. So, did I have the radio backwards? Right, this can't be backwards. How can this be backwards? Okay, so this is showing, supposedly, we are now, yeah, I would say. So this is long wave. Get it right this time, Jim. That's the blank. Yeah, I can see the open connections. You know, I hear a little bit out of the speaker. And then this AM. Try to remember where the volume is. Yeah, did I just get right back to where I was? Could be the case. Let me just try tuning this now. Wow. Okay. Well, why don't we tune this into the middle of the band. And wow, sure sounds like a radio. Let's tune it here. And knock the volume down while I'm turning this. We'll tune it to my favorite 1 million. Okay, and now we'll see if we can find it here. 1 million. That's as low as I can go on this band. Okay, wait a minute now. This won't be peaked anymore. Okay, hold on. Complications here. Another radio. Okay, strong signal at 1 million radiating towards this radio. Not a thing. Really? Well, a few problems with my system here, but okay, so that's 1 million hertz being sent over. Picked up way up here. So there, in the manual, it does talk about the local oscillator being above on some bands and below on the other. So what that says to me is the potential for confusion here is high, not only for me but for anyone else who worked on this radio like me. I mean, if this went back to a Hallicrafter repair shop, then it wouldn't be a problem. But just like I couldn't sort out how the bands worked until I'd done hours and hours on this radio before I even knew what order the bands were in. So this antenna is coming back to haunt me now. Boy, oh boy, I should have looked into this better when I had this apart. Oh man. Actually, there's a little porthole here to look through. I don't know if we can see anything in there. I need a lot of light blasting into it. Let's see what we can do here. Can we actually see in there? What am I seeing? I'm seeing I'm going to have to fix the focus on this if I want to look in there. I think I can see this. No, not going to see anything. Boy, it's a bad mistake when you know, it went through my head a couple times. Right through and out the other side. Son of a gun. You get excited about what you're focused on, trying to make things happen, and then you kind of forget all the peripheral stuff. Well, let's see. Why can't I just kind of make this stay like this all the time? Just wedge it over there. Stick. Well, is it this? Is it this guy here? I have another antenna. I have another loop antenna for this radio. Where is it? Okay, I'm going to go off and find the other loop antenna here. Okay, so there's an alternate antenna that comes with this radio. Here it is here. The Sky Rider. Has suction cups, but those aren't suctioning on anything anymore. They've gone hard. It's exactly the same plug, goes in the same spot, does the same job. Oh, check that out. Maybe clip it on your shirt. Okay. You know what? There's an adjusting screw in here. Where are you? I think there's an adjusting screw there. Okay, let's plug this one in and see if it does. See what it does. Same problem. Oh my God! You know, I'm so worried that this is a broken, a broken solder joint in there. Can't even be sure which one of it is. Oh man, what a... Now I'm really kicking myself in the rear. Because I had this thing out, I could have dealt with it. You know what? This is available, accessible, kinda, up through here. Let's take a look at it. Okay, I'm going to power this off. I don't want this running while I'm doing this. Let's see what we can see up there. just jam it in here and then I'll deal with the focus. Let's see what we can see. I'm trying to look right up. Wow. There's a structure here that's kind of limiting my. Maybe like this. So it should be to the side of the image. What's this going to tell me anyway? It's going to tell me I got to take the whole thing apart again. Okay, I'm going to plug in the antenna and wiggle the thing. Kind of the right angle. Side edge. Going inside. Focus, man, that's the problem. Focus is no good. This has been a gigantic problem now. Bloody effing gigantic problem. Okay, with a little bit of effort, I've managed to jam the other camera right up inside the radio here. You can just see a bit of the camera, and it's looking right up. Wow, it's looking back in this corner here, trying to see this, the underside of this connector. At the same time, I'm discovering if there's some work that needs to be done, I'm going to have to work at it in the same angle the camera's aimed up in, or I got to take apart that tuner again. No, I don't want to do that. So let's take a look at what's on this camera. And then what I'll do is I'll wiggle this to try to identify it among all the stuff we see in here. And here's what we see. Yeah, something there doesn't look very good. It's like a wire, probably, well, I don't know. I won't take, well, I could take responsibility for that probably. It's one of the wires that goes to the coil that I ripped off. So just yanked it there, but it's still attached. This is, let me just change the focus here a little bit to get it focused on the item we're interested in, which is further back, right there. I'll wiggle the plug now. Okay, so you can see what's happening. You see those terminals just wiggling away in there? It could even be that one right there, because that one is, look, it's just as, well, it's as loose as can be. What am I going to do about that? What can I do about that? Plug this in all the way. Well, wow. Looks like even if you can get access to it, you can't get access to it. Looks like it even, you know what, this is not in the area underneath. It's not in the area underneath, come to think of it. So there's no opportunity up this way. The opportunity, yeah, opportunity is right where the camera is. So somehow I got to get my gaze up in there. Oh, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be aligning anything today. I think that's what's going to happen here. I've got to sort this out. Okay, so I didn't miss an opportunity. I just have not engaged in all the paint. So I disconnected this arm here, which is really spring-loaded powerfully. I wasn't expecting it to come flying out like that. There's a lock washer down here. I'll leave this detached, because if I'm going to try to do surgery up this way, oh boy. I'm going to flip the radio all around here. Power is off, but let's unplug it too, just to be doubly sure. The last thing you want to do is pick up a radio like this, have it 6 inches in the air, and then get a little tiny shock, which you will then drop the radio. Then you have more work to do after that. Okay, so I want it to be. Hey, the speaker's right there. How am I going to work through this area? I think the speaker's coming out. So I've got the speaker tied. We're going to have to take the speaker out. And I can get up into this area maybe. Okay, what do we got going here? 2 wires coming here, and 1 on the back side there. I see my clip lead is carefully clipped onto a string instead of a wire. Oh my gosh, don't do that. Don't. We weren't going to get too far with that meter, that's for sure, because I had the lead clipped to a string. Okay, here's the other lead to the meter. Get that off. I'm going to nip those things away and worry about hooking it up later. Is there a bottom and a top? There's a left and a right. Can't get it wrong. Off you come. And this one. Okay, let's get the speaker. Oh, I think I just put my finger through that. Oh yeah, get the speaker out. Ooh. Is that why this piece is missing here? I just run it right through that asbestos. There we go again. Oh, I've got it tied down here too. Come on. Must be picking up a little dust. 3 forward, 2 down, 3 forward. Okay, here we go. Come out. Just come out. Come out. Ooh, what was that? That didn't sound good at all. What happened there? Stiff, bloody wire. Poked a hole right through the speaker. Who puts a speaker in with stiff wire? Come on. Look at that. Okay, this asbestos is bad news. Oh, with one hole. One hole. Not bad. And I can see up in there, sort of. Wow. Holy smokes. This is really... And what am I going to see up in there? The only other way to work on this easier would be to actually remove the entire tuner box. No, I don't want to do that. So, wow. You have to be really, really lucky here. Just a little bit of trouble here with lighting and everything. Yeah, I can see some things from this angle here. God, there's just components everywhere under there. So, so I can see a tab moving. Where's it? You know, wow, am I ever going to know where that's supposed to connect? Or is it even disconnected? I can't even tell what's on it. Oh my gosh, this is a horror story. Okay, so facing a horror story, it's time to stop and think how to avoid the horror and keep the story going. Wow, I really, this is, wow. This radio. Okay, just a little further consideration. I think there is a way into here, and it's through here. I remove this protective cover. The coil is already off its rocker down there, so I can just push the coil out of the way. There's a what a mess in here. There's a trimmer capacitor sitting here. I may have to dislodge this. But if I get this out of the way, and the coil out of the way, you have a pretty clear shot right at this guy. That's got to be the approach. That's got to be the approach. We can get this off pretty easy. Let me just grab my light here. Took that speaker out for no reason, probably. Put a hole in it for no reason. Right there. I'm sure this is going to amount to just a touch of solder and we're done in the end. It's just a question of getting there. There's the coil that I very handily smashed off. Swing that out of the way. Now we're going to bring the light and the camera over here. I think I get a much clearer view of it. I think this has gone from this can't be done to yeah, I think I can do this. Yeah, we do need the camera in there though, that's for sure. Everything's tangled up in everything here. Let me switch here. This has to come in from behind a little bit. Something like that. Looks good. Switch cameras. There it is. Oh my. Well, there's the fault right there. I'm pretty sure that's got to be the fault right there. Let me wiggle this. I think I'm lucky. Yeah. So it's desoldered itself from the chassis. That's what that looks like. I mean, can you have any doubt of that? So soldering that guy back to the chassis. Looks easy enough. Wow, I've really lucked out. I can get my finger down. I can get the soldering iron down. Can I? Let me test it. Bring on. The soldering iron's not hot. It's just cold. Going in. We're going in. Looks pretty good. Oh my gosh, I've been lucky. Best first attempt is just to solder it back, but this is a large chassis here, a lot of metal, and my little soldering iron may not be up to it. That doesn't look like the easiest thing to put a soldering iron on, because of the angle I'm coming in. Another alternative is to attach a wire and bring the wire to the chassis. The way they've done it, they've simply saved a lot of wire here. Now, can I position this camera so we could watch? I could watch in the camera while I do the work. Let's see if I can do that. So I have to come over here, kind of get down in here. Kind of look like that. Did I see it? Do I see it? No, really close though. Okay, so this has to go back this way here to see it. Take off the other screw holding the antenna. Oh, wow, maybe not. Will that really help? That won't really help anyway. No reason to do that. Problem is, I have to get past this. And then tip it like that. That should be it. That should show. Oh, wrong camera view on the screen. Okay, get my hands full here. Come on. This little Microsoft camera is quite flexible in its applications. Okay, so we gotta get up past that. Gotta get past that. I had it, and then what happened? Let's see if that'll do it there. Will that do it there? What do we see with that? Don't see it. It's just a little ways out of sight. What am I up against here? I get this camera wedged in here so tight it'll have to stay. It'll be a permanent addition to the radio. Put this like this. Put that like that. Put that like that. Almost got it. There it is. Okay, just about got a good view of it too. Put this more like that. Get the focus and the lighting and all that in a sec. There. There it is. Okay, let me focus it in a little better. If I can. No, doesn't get any better than that. And with my own eyes, I have a good view of it with my own eyes. Down in here, if I just change this. A little too much for the camera now, eh? Adjusting the brightness setting on the camera. And I'm just fooling with the focus a little more. Oh, only goes one way. That's further out. Focus. That's as good as it's going to get on the camera. Let me just stop for a second. Okay, let's practice with a soldering iron now. Soldering iron's not on. You know what? I cannot see from here. Got it lit nicely in the camera, but I cannot see. That's why I practice these things, to find this out before I start wielding the hot soldering iron here. Okay, I see. Camera looks good. Okay, soldering iron practice again. Okay, so I want to put the soldering iron right on it, like that. And then I'm going to want to press it up against the chassis by manipulating the plug. Wow, that's not much. So the deal is that part has to push hard enough on the chassis that it will conduct enough heat from the soldering iron if I solder through it. That might not be so good. Now, another thing I can do is I can bend the tab towards the chassis a little bit. It's quite doable. Don't know if I get any actual bending moment into it. If I bend, I'll show you. If I bend the shaft, or bend the tab up close to the body, then the bend will hold. If I try to bend it further away, I think it's just going to spring. So what I'm trying to say is, if I push it here, it won't get much effect. If I push it right up here and push against it at the same time, maybe I can get it to spring down. Wow, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. You can do this. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty hard tab, I would think. See it? Yeah, it's just going down and coming right back up. So I am able to push it up against it. I think that's what I'm feeling. Lots of solder. I'll put my soldering iron temperature up a bit here. Oh, just a minute. I'm throwing stuff around the shop. me get my cold cup of coffee out of here. Off the bench. Never put drinks or food on your bench. Okay, soldering iron's coming up to temperature here. And I'm going to raise it. 365. Now some people I think run their soldering irons that hot all the time, but I keep mine a little bit cool. So I gotta hold the solder, get it in place. I can let go of the solder, hold the soldering iron. Then I gotta use this hand to move this. So I gotta hold soldering iron in this hand. So I gotta hold solder in this hand. Okay, attempt number 1 coming at you. That's hot. That's a hot one. Oh yeah, as soon as I put my hand in there, the light disappears. Okay, so we're on it. Be on it. Now I got to try to shove some solder to increase the heat transfer rate. There is some solder there. That's good. Get some more. Oh, somebody just gave me an email. Okay, I'm looking at it. I'm not looking in the camera here. I better look in the camera and see what it shows. Well, it shows I'm on target. More solder needed. More solder. I can't do it. Okay, hold on. Bloody solder. Switching hands. Switching hands. There is lots of solder there. Now we got to get it down onto the chassis. That's the trick. So I'm going to push it to the chassis. Whip in a bunch more solder. God knows if I'm doing this right. Okay, I'm pushing it down on the chassis. Now I got to change hands here. Push it down with this. Push it down. This is hot. I'm holding on to something hot here. Holding it, holding it. Whereas you can see why this broke. This just can't take any working. This form of connection, you just can't work it. Well, you gotta plug this in and out. You're gonna work it. Here we go. Well, it looks like it's stuck. Really? Let me put this hot soldering iron away before I burn a hole in my Christmas sweater here. And radio works, but wouldn't have a happy wife at that point. Any holes? Any holes? No holes. Okay, so I'm going to take a direct look into the hole here and move this thing. Son of a gun if it isn't soldered. Wow, there's another bullet dodge with this radio. Holy smokes. Okay, we'll put this back where it should be. Kind of sitting right there. Put the protector, the hider, we'll put the hider back on. To hide that. No, we won't. Let's not do that yet. No, don't do that. Leave everything as is. Let's see if the bloody radio works. Get the camera out. I have to hook the speaker back up. Oh, I got all kinds of stuff to do. Where are we on the clock here? 11:15. So I'm going to deal with all this. We'll get this thing ready to go again and find out if that repair worked. I think it did. I really think it did. Wow, you know what? This might be a video in itself, right here. Maybe I'm going to say farewell for this video, and we'll start up again. The next video will be, yes, an alignment. Yes, believe it or not. See ya.